Well, thanks for staying with us. President Muhammadu Buhari has described the United States as Nigeria's main trading partner and one of the country's most important diplomatic partners. The president spoke at a meeting with the Business Council for International Understanding at the Nigeria International Economic Partnership Forum held on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York. Buhari said that Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa and has a 200 million strong consumer market that is home to a range of attractive opportunities. The event featured top Nigerian government functionaries and renowned and highly respected private sector players.
In order to encourage increased private capital inflows into Nigeria, we have put together fiscal investment incentives that include 3 to 5 years of tax holidays for enterprises in what we deem pioneer industries, tax-free operations, and no restrictions on expatriate quotas in our free trade zones. Capital allowances for agriculture, manufacturing, and engineering, and a VAT regime for 5%, among others. We are, therefore, open to widening collaboration with Business Council for international understanding.
Well, Arise business analyst Bode Ososami joins us now for more. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight. Let me start off by asking, what are your thoughts on this investor event? Is this what analysts have been asking for?
Well, the feedback was very positive. There were fruitful sessions and very insightful presentations addressing the key issues for investors. Indeed, at a time when a normalization of interest rates in the West is resulting in capital flows back to developing economies, and the world is recalibrating its risk return considerations and supply chain partnerships, a forum like this cannot be overemphasized. Now, we can't get enough. The agenda and participation, I gather, was highly commendable and conveyed the seriousness and opportunities, even though you will still find at this forum more interest in maybe better known areas like, say, the oil and gas sector. But the high quality of participation from all sectors really was something that many noted. But I would also add that the issue is how you're going to bait and assure your investors that the environment is good to come in, especially in non-oil investment areas, and how do you incubate this interest till a partnership is formed. The president was also quite visible, although he missed the opening forum, I understand, due to scheduling conflict, the opening session. And the quality and output of events, of this type of event, are reflective of the rigorous pre-work and analysis, so that presentations are well focused. Like I said, the feedback was positive, and events like this can address many misapprehensions by investors.
Well, it's good you say that the response has been positive. Well, the question really is, are the investment incentives strong enough as to attract this foreign direct investment, or investors, if you like, that President Muhammadu Buhari and his team have been making a case for? Now, how do you think these investors will actually respond to this in concrete terms?
Indeed, to understand how investors will respond, we need to factor in what investors have been told or researched based on their own trusted sources prior to the forum. Only this Monday in Financial Times, there's an article on Nigeria, just this Monday, that said trust in the Nigeria state is at rock bottom. They said the IMF quoted that the country collected just 6.3% of GDP in tax in 2020, which is the lowest proportion in the world and far below what is required for a functioning state. And the erosion of trust and confidence has led to a rule where citizens are acting for themselves, distrusting the center, thus turning talented citizens into extortionists. So with that kind of talk, in the recent press. Also, they said 90 million have no access to electricity out of 200 million. 40% live in absolute poverty. So when you're talking about a market of 200 million people, you're really talking of maybe just 80 million that have reasonable buying power. So the question is, why don't you fix electricity, get enough gas for gas turbines to generate maybe more electricity, get refineries to function, put in place safety nets to alleviate huge unemployment and burdensome inflation, and offer what is considered to be the basic things that other countries are doing before we begin to expect to be taken seriously on sending gas by pipeline to Morocco, though there's nothing wrong with that. And that's an important project. So while opportunities are bound, if you don't restore that domestic confidence, investors will be a bit nervous about the business environment and will perceive it as too uncertain and risky to move in with confidence. So in short, we really have to put the house in order while telling others to come and do business.
But is it safe to say the prospects are not really very promising? Going by, the factors you've just mentioned, sanctity of contracts is a major issue in the country. We did see the crisis in the aviation sector, with investors being unable to take out funds from the country. Now, the follow-up clearly is always critical. Again, your thoughts on implementing actions from this forum?
Well, two very obvious things. One is implementation and how you move forward. We're in a political transition phase. Everybody's busy, especially in the government functionaries. And you have to be sure that after a meeting like this, you are progressing the ongoing conversations with serious potential investors. So you go from idea to realization. And you also want to put in place an ongoing process team or accountability to own the navigation of the process to the next stage. The other thing that is very important is to listen carefully to investors. And you just mentioned one of so many things they would have been saying in an environment where they are free to give you feedback, and note the vital quick wins, the corrections that you can quickly make to enhance trust, to breach that trust deficit and improve things. Doing next to nothing will just reinforce the view that these meetings are all talk. And I dare say sometimes fresh insight leading to just one useful corrective action that you make that delights investors is far better than 20 conferences and meetings.
Absolutely, Bode Ososami there. It's almost like a case of which one comes first, the chicken or the egg. We need the FDIs to close the infrastructure gap. We need to fix the infrastructure to get FDI in. It's tough. Bode Ososami, thank you very much for joining us. All right, let's take another short break. When we return, Nigeria says it now has the equipment to detect oil theft. Stay with us.